Them motherfuckers. Elsweyr dropped. Some crazy shit's happening. A lot of necro stuff going on. Builds coming back from the dead and shit, like my DK, which is coming out in the next video. And I've been very lazy with the builds. But rest assured, I've been doing things and stuff that's all going to benefit you. So stay tuned, and it's going to help you. Notice how I'm on a Magplar. I never play Magplar, but I thought, you know, I'll play a bit of Magplar, and I enjoyed it. So thought I'd release this in case anybody that plays it a lot is struggling with their Magplar. So without further ado, let me get into the gear. Before I say anything about the gear though, there is a setup for max Magicka, and then there is a setup that is more utility based that actually works for a majority of situations. So if you're going to play in PvP open world, then I highly suggest you use the utility one. If you just like to play with your friends and just, you know, come running in out of nowhere and clap someone, then use this first setup that I'm wearing now. So the first setup is just buff up a little bit. Oops, wrong button. And this is without my weapon damage buffs, obviously, or my spell damage buffs. So we've got 52k mag, 17.7k health, 16 stam, low regens, but obviously you can work with that because you have a high pull, really good crit, good resistances all round, and decent spell damage. So we're going to go up in here, we're going to quickly just buff up and show you what we get up to with that. That's with my pot, so that's fully buffed with the pot with my spell damage buff. You get 1000 spell damage almost on top of that, and that is a decent increase for this. I mean, you already have 50k plus spell damage. Let me just give you an example of what some of the numbers are on this, so everyone knows what their Vampire's Bane's looking like. That is a very girthy, and bearing in mind, I'm an Argonian. I'm not like spec full into damage or max, so you could push 30k on this, and you could be one-shotting people with a couple of jabs and one Vampire's Bane. So if you want to go full damage, you can still increase on this build. But I prefer Argonian, specifically because of things like this. Obviously you're going to need to be healing, and if you're with your friends, they're really going to find that heal pretty fucking helpful. So in general, you're going to be like, you know, your friend's best friend now. But like I said, this is for a purely max build, and it's nice because everything hits really hard. Just so you have seen it with the setup on, this is what the tooltip on the jabs would be. You can pause it or whatever you need to do. So 4330, there's your jabs. Right, but like I said, in general, this build is good for playing in a group. If you're by yourself, and like I like to play solo, I've got a lot of people that I play with, but in general we've all got different play styles and we all split up when we're in our groups and shit. So you need to have like a solo build if you're going to have some fun. So there's a different variation of this, and the first one would have been Necro, 1 heavy, 1 medium, so you can get the Undaunted buff, and then you've got your Necro on the body. I think it's 1, 2, 3 on the body, 2 crafty Alf on the body as well. And that's one of the new sets that just gives you pure max Magicka that you can get from Elsweyr fighting the dragons, pretty cheap in traders. And blue jewelry. I mean, shit, you really don't need gold jewelry unless you're going for 1 infused. Then obviously go gold jewelry, but I wouldn't go more than 1 infused anyway, because then you're going to start losing all the max, and that's what this build's for, is max. One thing I've noticed on this character, I'll just quickly show you, would be Argonians, not Argonians, Templars lose damage. Mel, sorry, 1 second, I'm just making a video. Can you just mute me for 1 minute? The Templars lose a lot of damage when they have more spell damage than max. So we've got, let's just see, 2637. So 26327. 26327. And this is with the, now that we've got 1 damage piece on. Let's go with this. 26. See, now we've got 1 Molekena on, and we've upped our damage, but because of the max, we've lost damage. So on certain characters it does work out, but for a majority of the time, just going high and max tends to work out best. So that's why I'm wearing the Domius instead of a Molekena for a 1 piece or a Balorg or whatever it is. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, let's get into the other variation of this build, the utility version of it. Let me just buff up. And this is for when you're playing open world. This is way more useful by yourself. So we've still got the 49k max Magicka, We've got 18.7k health, so we've got more health, and we've got more stam. We've got more base weapon or spell damage now, and a lot more resistances, so we are definitely more tanky. Got a little bit more regen as well. Let's go around here and we'll see what we're up at. You can always go back and check what we was at the beginning of the video if you wanted to compare. 3,050 almost, decent health, decent stamina, good regen, better than it was before, and mainly better resistances. That's the main thing we're focusing on here, because you don't want to go into PvP and get swept down on your new build trying to have some fun because there's too many people on you. So your heals are incredible on this, way better than they were before, almost by 1,000. So they're strong as shit. And don't think just because we've lost a little bit of Magicka we're going for like a severe drop in damage. Remember, it was 28 point something before, 27.4. Still really strong, still got real good damage on everything else, so I think that goes up a little bit more. Yep. So it's still an all around really, really good build. For the gear, we're running a Nern Shackle Inferno, powered resto because we're on the back bar with the weapon damage glyph, so we can light attack into the shock on the front. Heavy for the helmet instead of a mix of the Undaunted before. Now we can't really, I don't have the right gear for Undaunted, so if you want to do Undaunted you can, but I feel like 2 light is actually helping out because I don't have a lot of regen. So we've got the heavy shackle breaker, still the same belt of Crafty Alk and shackle, and same jewelry. So just to recap, all I've swapped out from the max Magicka build was this, and this, 3 body pieces and the weapons. So you can go from a high max to this utility build pretty easily, and then on top of this, if you really want to have extra crit or anything like that, then change it to light. Oops, wrong one. Because shackle is one of those sets that, because you have so much utility now, like the extra stamina, you can break free, dodge roll and stuff like that, you can actually afford to run light and not have to run like, you know, some stupidly over tanky set like Impreg or some shit like that. So let's just check our damage now. More regen, 10% more crit, little bit more mag, 1,000 less health, still the same stamina, a little bit less tanky, but I still wouldn't prefer to run this, like, you know, I'd prefer to run the heavy out open world, just purely for the tenacity passive, because let's just go over here. If I try and burn myself down quickly, I mean, I'm on full light, 1 heavy attack, 5k. So I pulled back 5k. It's decent, you know, but like we're running really low regen because we're running a max build here. But if you run the heavy version of this, you can get the heavy passive where you pull back extra mag and stamina for your heavy attacks, 25% extra. So I mean, that could be the difference between hitting 1 breath of life and the difference between hitting a breath of life, a stun and a purify, and getting away from someone that's on your ass. So put this back here to there, and now we're just going to do the same thing just to show you. So I'm going to burn it down a little bit. I had my pot up a minute ago anyway, so it'll be fair. Bigger, way bigger pull. I think that was about 8k that pulled back then, and obviously you're a lot more tanky, so in general you want to go with this type of setup, the heavy build. So I'll recap it just 1 second for you. It is heavy, 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 light, light, heavy, heavy, shackle, crafty out jewelry, crafty out inferno, crafty out fucking shackle inferno, shackle resto. And my general rotation for this would be, I've got some clips I'm going to show you guys anyway. I hate videos where they don't show you clips, but you see someone over there, you light attack him, hit him with that, come in with that, you'd obviously put a bubble on him, but I can't bubble him, and then hit him with a few jabs into one of them, keep up with the jabs, and then back up into a radiant. I don't know anyone really that survives at this patch. It's ridiculously strong in PvP, and the second that you've done that, you want to come back onto the heavy attacks and get that back to full. Stay at full as much as you can, avoid hitting that pot as much as you can, and this build is a Goliath. So I'm going to show you a few clips, and as always, peace, motherfuckers.
Get shout on Dark Wolf. Lol.
Now they're saying I'm a mourner. Call the fucking love's gone from my heart and I warned ya. Telling me look to the stars but I can see the pointer. Call the fucking love's gone from my heart, I destroyed ya. I'm destroying myself for a penny down the well, cause I ain't been doing well, been battling in the shell. Smoking on the L but I should really stop as well. All I really do is smoke weed and grab blood. Looking in the mirror, see the fading of your love. Draining the way like the water down the plug. Locked in the midst, I'm standing in the shadow, trying to fight the feeling, it's an everyday battle. Looking in my eyes, I see the love fade away.